Hey, fellow Restopians, welcome back to Restopia. So first for the channel, Tool Watch Co. have very kindly sent me their new model, the Rally, in for me to give my thoughts and opinions on. I've tried to record this video quite a few times already, and when you don't edit, it becomes quite difficult because you really want to do a good job. When it's someone else's watch, you want to be, do a good job of showing it in a good light. So I've had this quite a while now. I do really like the watch. I'll give you some facts about it first. So it's from my vernier calipers that we have there. It's 38 millimeters across, approximately 12.2 thick, 20 mil lug width, and a 46.2 mil lug to lug. I know people like to have all those dimensions. It's a limited edition piece of 300 pieces. At the moment, I would definitely suggest, I've got the website up here in front of me. I won't show you it, but I would definitely suggest having a look at their website. It's very easy to navigate. They have 3 models, and each model is in 3 different colorways. This piece comes in, so this is the hopefully I'm not getting too much reflection on there. It's very dark here today. It's that time of year, so I'm having to use the light which is reflecting on the viewfinder, so I can't actually see the viewfinder too well. So hopefully if I just sort of move it around, hopefully there will be no reflection within some of those shots. So yeah, this is the all silver. It also comes in a, let's call it a panda, so silver dial, black subdials, and a reverse panda, black dial, silver subdials. This one comes with, when it's in this configuration, it has a blue seconds hand, and the black has a yellow seconds hand, and the panda silver dial has a red seconds hand. All the second hands have a design to the tip. I'm just going to start the chronograph function, so it just moves it out of the way slightly there. And I don't know if you can see, but it's got a checkered flag design on the tip of the seconds hand. All of Tool Watch Co's watches have that kind of brand identity of having a design on the seconds hand. But as I say, I won't talk about that too much. But do go and have a look at the website. They've got some cool merch on there as well. One of which, on the back here, we have a rather nice engraved, laser etched image of a nice looking young lady rally driver with, I think it's an Audi S2 rally car, which they also do in a t-shirt, which is in colour. But go and have a look on the website for that, because it is well worth a look. Now, the reason for basically all of their watches are inspired. This is inspired by 1980s Group B rallying. I think it does a really good job they take that inspiration and make a good watch from it, is what I'm trying to say here. I mean, I have, what have I got? What have I got on? Wrist check. I've got on my Seiko speed timer, which is, it's a very nice chronograph. But it's kind of just a chronograph. I think with the Rally, they've been inspired by 1980s Group B rallying, and I think they've done it really well. This is my favourite colour out of the 3 colourways because it's the most raw. So it kind of, to me, a 1980s rally cars generally are quite basic internally. They're all about, function rather than design or form. And I think this watch really, I'm old enough. I used to watch rallying when I was a kid, Grandstand, World of Sport. And this does take me back to that era. I do feel there's definitely a link between the design of this watch and the inspiration that it's taken from. So some of those things are the crown. It's a very, very chunkily knurled crown, so it's a bit like a gear shift. I don't know if you've ever seen a gear shift lever in a rally car, but it's nothing like the one in your car. Everything's just quite raw on this one, but of course you've got the panda and the reverse panda, which are more they're more popular designs, let's say, but I particularly like this all silver one. So I don't know if you saw when I started that chronograph, but it's a Mecha-Quartz. So it has obviously the second hand for the chronograph feature, which is sweeping rather than ticking. I think watches really need to use Mecha-Quartz movements more than they currently do. So I'm a fan of Mecha-Quartz movements in watches, but obviously this being a chronograph has it on the second hand of the chronograph rather than the running seconds for the watch. The two sub dials here are so there's a 60-minute counter on the left and a 24-hour. Let me just unscrew that crown so you can see what I'm talking about here and move those hands out of the way. 24-hour sub dial on the right. So there's no running seconds. If it were running seconds, I believe on most Mecha-Quartz movements, as in the Seiko, which is also a Mecha-Quartz movement, so it's a similar. But what the Seiko has is running seconds on the left sub dial, but they tick, whereas the Mecha-Quartz movement on the chronograph sweeps. So it's all. I think it's, and you know, being realistic, I mean, people don't really use the chronograph too much on their watch. It's just a really nice design feature, and if it's going to be a design feature, it kind of works that, you know, it takes you back to a certain point in time rather than, you know, just being an ordinary chronograph, if you like. So a couple of other things on the dial. You've got TCP written just under rally. That stands for timed checkpoint, which again is linking back to rallying, and then you've got the manufacturer's branding and chronograph under the pinion. Yeah, pushes work really well. I can reset there. I'm not sure if this is a a pre-production mod. You know, it's a model it's a piece that's sent out to people to give reviews on. The seconds hand is not quite lining up at 12 when you reset it. But that's kind of easy to rectify because you just start and stop the chronograph really quickly. And then it's lined up perfectly. So when you're wearing the watch, let me slap it on. When you're wearing the watch, you know, it doesn't look out. It's not misaligned, which is quite easy. And it's quite easy to do that. And obviously you can just start the chronograph from that point as well. Let's get that screen back up. You know, when you're using it, so that's not really an issue. So what are my personal thoughts on it? As I've said, I think it's a really well inspired watch. It does make me feel, gives me that rally car feel, which is obviously the point of it. It has the holes in the strap that it comes with. I'm not really a fan of the ones where you can see your hand through the holes. But obviously I can see why they've done that to the design. You can get straps similar to this where there's still holes, but they are backed, so you don't see, you don't see through them and see your hairy arms. It's 20mm lug width, so it would be really easy to change the strap. They are quick release pins as well on there. Yeah, it'd be really just easy to change that strap and make it a bit more colourful, etc. So, but yeah, it's personal preference. It's probably not really my size. It's a little bit too small for me, but that's something that happens a lot. So it's a personal preference, but I think the size will suit a lot of people. I'll refer to my notes now. I think I've told you all about the sizing and stuff. I think I said it's £395 plus it's free shipping at the moment. Will be taxed probably into the UK plus local taxes. The brand, all of their pieces are kept under £500, so that's like a philosophy of the brand. And as I say, I would have a look on their website. So likes and dislikes, already said rally theme, checked second hand, checker on the second hand. Mecha-Quartz, dislikes. There's one other dislike I was trying to find. Size for me, holes in the strap. Crown action. That's the only thing. It's a lovely. Once you've got the crown out, it's a lovely movement to adjust. The only thing I would say, the water resistance is only 30 meters. That was sort of linking into the crown, which kind of basically means it isn't water resistant. So you're not going to be able to go in a shower or go in a pool or generally really get it wet. Now, the crown on this one, it's one of my peeves on watches. There isn't too much to screw in from being fully screwed in to fully open, unscrewed. It's a very limited thread. So, when you're screwing it back in, you've got once it catches, it almost stops immediately. I'm wondering if the crown, because it's a screw-in case back, I'm wondering if the crown is actually the reason for that low water resistance. So maybe that's something that can be improved. I think we, kind of do need more than 30 meters of water resistance, which doesn't mean that you could go 30 meters. You basically can't get this thing near water. I've got quite a few watches with 30 meters of water resistance. I just don't get them wet. But yeah, it seems a shame on a sports watch. I was going to mention, I've got, just referring to my notes, unside crown. That's something that often gets, people complain about an unside crown. My feeling is, unless the design of the signed crown is good, it may as well just be unsigned. I mean, there's a lot of watches out there that don't have a signed crown. That do have a signed crown, but they just look awful. I think, again, having an unside crown on this with a very chunky, it's not really knurling, but with, the very rugged crown design actually, again, works much better with the concept of it being inspired by a very function over form rally car. And I think that's pretty much, I've covered the colours. That's pretty much all I have jotted down here. My overall feeling, so just to sum up, my overall feeling is, having looked at the website and had this watch, I do really think that I do really like the brand and the piece. For me, as I say personally, it's just not big enough, but to actually purchase one. But if it were, it's a PVD coated bezel, by the way, so that's pretty scratch resistant. If it were bigger and I could obviously easily change that strap out, I think this certainly would be a piece that I would consider. Well, hopefully that's given you some. Let me know if you've got any questions in the comments below about this piece. Thank you again for Tool Watch Company for letting me have a look at this and give my opinions on it. But for now, one wrist, live it.